The sights on it are just factory, which is pretty lame. The magazine release button here is a lot chunkier than on my last Glock, and I really like that.
The slide release is ambidextrous on both sides. The safety is ambidextrous on both sides.
The Nintendo Zapper Ruger LCP, my Wolverine LCP2.
This is a variant of the gun that John Wick used in John Wick 1. He used a P30L, so it's a little bit longer.
But you can see the 38 Special along the top, and it looks like it did almost as much damage as the 38 Special, even though the bullet's only about half the size.
Shoot her! Yes! For science.
Oh!
Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. Anybody who watches this channel knows that my videos are a little all over the place. I do a lot of Indiana Jones videos and a lot of different gun videos as far as shooting and upgrades to certain weapons and things of that nature, along with fighting videos. Yeah, there's a little something on this channel for everybody. So today we're going to combine these two things. This is going to be a gun review video on these two Indiana Jones pistols here. This is my current Indiana Jones gun. This is a Smith & Wesson Victory 38, manufactured in 1944. It's a pretty sweet gun, and as you can see, it is pretty accurate. There's a couple things about it I don't like, which we're going to be discussing here. First thing I don't like is the trigger pull. So, gun is empty, good to go. But for a gun manufactured in 1944, this thing is in fantastic shape, and I love it. I've had it for about 6 years. It's even got the little lanyard ring on the bottom, which I really like, and the shape of the gun is nearly perfect, other than the fact that it has a 5-inch barrel instead of a 4-inch barrel, which is a small pet peeve, but not enough to justify buying another gun. So, first thing that really bothers me is the trigger pull. As with most older guns, that trigger pull weighs a ton, and I mean a ton. We're talking like a 20-pound trigger pull on this bad boy. It is absolutely ridiculous. Now the flip side of that, single action, holy cow, that thing is smooth. Great single action fire. But I am looking for a double action fire because I want to be able to fire it quickly, or at least relatively quickly. So if I were to keep this gun, which I won't be, I'm going to be selling this. So for anybody who's watching this video, this gun is currently for sale. But if I were to keep the gun, I would want to do a trigger job on it to lessen that double action trigger pull a little bit. But this was the real killer for me, which is why I started looking for a new gun. This thing is a 38. Not a 38 Special, but a 38. There's been a few people that have commented on some of my other videos saying, oh, that's a 38 Special, you know, it's easy to get ammo for that. No. This is a 38, not a 38 Special. They haven't made a gun that's in 38 caliber in about 60 years, because it's an inferior round, which is why they came out with the 38 Special to begin with. So, for people that don't know what they're talking about, that want to criticize me, let's take a look at these. This is a 38 round. Fits in the gun just fine. There you have it. This is a 38 Special round, which is what I kept getting every time I said that I needed ammo for a 38 pistol, which was really annoying. 38 Special round. It'll fit in the chamber, but the round is too long, and so the cylinder won't close. So here are the bullets side by side, so you can see the difference. This one is a 38, this one is a 38 Special. You can see that the 38 Special obviously packs a much bigger punch just because of the length of the bullet. It's like comparing a 357 to a 38 Special. So, these bullets I was able to find at one gun shop here in town. It was $50 for a 50-round box. That's $1 a round. So even though this gun shoots straight as an arrow, in fact it shoots better than a lot of my modern guns that I have, in my opinion, I can't afford to shoot it. And it's shooting an inferior round that's not really going to, do a whole lot compared to a 38 Special. So that was a real downside of this gun to me. I don't mind the fact that it's an antique gun. I would quite happily use this as my daily carry Indiana Jones pistol every time I suit up in my gear. But if you can't afford to shoot it, that means you can't afford to become accurate with it, even though it is very accurate in single action mode. I'm terrible with this gun in double action because of that super heavy pull. So, a lot of downsides to this gun. Now, getting back to the gun itself, screen accuracy, it's missing the little logo here. Both the Colt and the Smith & Wesson, which were both used in the films, have the little logo right here, and this one does not. It's also got the 5-inch barrel rather than the 4-inch barrel, as I mentioned earlier. The only one that had a 5-inch barrel is the Webley that Indy used in The Last Crusade, which looked very, very different from this gun. So, there you have it. A couple downsides to this gun. I've actually reviewed this gun before in my Indiana Jones props video, but I thought I would go into a little bit more detail in this video for you gun gurus out there that simply like Indiana Jones guns. So, anyway, that is the Smith & Wesson Victory 38. And this gun I just got today. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 10. This is actually the gun that was used in the films, particularly Raiders. This gun has been getting manufactured since 1899, and they're still making them today. Now, there are a couple inconsistencies with this gun as well. I got this one used. As you can see from this little logo here, it's an old Department of Corrections duty pistol. I haven't even cleaned it yet, and boy, is the barrel on this thing dirty. I would be willing to wager this thing hasn't been fired in about 30 years. So it's going to need some cleaning work, and we will tackle that in a different video later. But it's got the nice wooden grips on it, even though they are a little worn, which is fine, because it's an Indy gun, so it should look a little worn. It's got the nice Smith & Wesson logo right here, which is great. It does not have the lanyard ring. I'm thinking about maybe getting one added by a gunsmith or something like that to make this a little bit more accurate. Also, if you notice the difference in the barrel between this gun and this gun, this is what they call the heavy barrel model of the Model 10. And they put the heavier barrel on it to help with the recoil and improve accuracy. So even though this is not screen accurate for the Indiana Jones movie, it's actually going to make this gun better to shoot. So for practicality purposes, I mean, if you put these guns right next to each other, the barrels are not that much different. So I'm fine with that difference in the barrel, actually. So that being said, I'm going to look at double action mode here. Oh, for you sticklers out there, gun's empty. Now, even though this is a heavy trigger pull still, it's not nearly as heavy as this one. This one is probably just a little bit heavier than my Beretta, since I got the trigger job put on the Beretta, which is covered in other videos. I'm actually planning on putting a Jerry Michalek trigger job into this pistol. So we'll see how that improves that double action trigger pull. Now, as with the Victory 38, man, that single action is just smooth as silk. Better than any other pistol that I have, probably. Just fantastic. So hopefully the trigger job that I do to this gun will not affect single action too much. But we will see. Now, a couple things that bother me about this gun that probably wouldn't bother regular Indiana Jones fans is it's got a lot of scuffing around the barrel here from holster wear, and a couple of other spots too. It's got a lot of dust and lint around here, so that's going to need to be cleaned up. But I'm actually going to be doing a touch-up bluing job on this gun in a future video. Now, most of you Indiana Jones guys out there are going to say, oh no, you need to leave it the way it is, it needs to look worn, it needs to look worn. Well, yeah, it does need to look worn, but I'm going to be the one that wears it out. I don't want somebody else wearing it out and then me grabbing that up. I feel that's cheating. But this gun, I'm guessing, is going to be carried a lot, and I can't wait to shoot it. I am planning on taking it to the range here pretty soon, and we'll be covering that in a future video. Now, here's something very interesting that's almost like the 38 Special with the 357 Magnum. Is you've got your 38 Special round here, which is what this gun is meant for. This gun will not hold a 357 round, by the way. But you've got the standard 38, and look at that, it fits. So even though this is a 38 Special, it could fire one of these lousy 38 rounds. Unlike this thing that's not compatible with both, this one could fire both. So, not that I'm ever going to be buying 38 rounds again. I was lucky enough to find a surplus store nearby that sold me a whole bag of these for about $50, but I got lucky on that. I want a gun that I can take to the range and shoot regularly, and sadly, this gun is not it. Even though it's a great antique gun, and you know, it was used during World War II, it's a great piece of history, and I mean, it looks like it's a great gun. I love it, but I just cannot afford to shoot it. So even with the other indiscrepancies there, none of those were deal breakers, but this round is the deal breaker for me because I just can't shoot it, and it's a lousy round on top of that. So that's why I upgraded. So this gun I'm betting I can sell for probably at least $700 with the nice condition it's in and everything. And this one I paid less than half that for. So there's also that. As far as the weight goes, they're both heavy SOBs. This one is actually probably a little bit lighter than this one because of the heavy barrel, which is fine. As I mentioned earlier, I would rather be able to shoot it more accurately than have the smaller barrel. So anyway, that's my review on these two guns. Like I said, I'm going to be selling this Victory 38 here, and I'm going to be concentrating on getting this one cleaned up, making it a little bit more accurate, and getting a nice trigger put in there. So stay tuned for future upgrades for my new Indy gun, and I will see you guys in future videos. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.